Next, climatic zone. Sorry, the climate of the temperate zone. Okay, so first we will start with there are differences between the climatic conditions of northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Okay, so there are differences between the climate between northern and southern hemisphere. So the places which are of the temperate zone in the northern hemisphere, I would like you all to open page number 29. Open the page number 29 and look at the look at the temperate zones. Okay, the temperate grasslands present in the northern hemisphere. Okay, now these grasslands are little towards interior continent. Okay, they are not touching the water bodies. So because of that, they are away from the maritime influence. Maritime influence means the area which is closer to the water body. So because they are towards interior continent, they are away from maritime. That means they are away from the coastal area or water body. Because of this, the temperature is extreme. Okay, extreme. During summer time, it is more than 38 degree Celsius, and during winter time, it is minus 20 degree Celsius. And here the rainfall is 50 centimeter annually. Annually means throughout the year. Okay, the rainfall is only 50 centimeter. Okay, now this is the climatic condition of northern hemisphere. Now we will go to the southern hemisphere. Now as you can see in the map, yes, there are pampas, velds and downs in the southern hemisphere. Okay, these are the grasslands. Now these grasslands, as you can see, they are near the coastal area. Okay, because they are near the coastal area, there is more rainfall there. And because of that, the temperature is moderate. They have moderate temperature. So in mid-winter, they will have a temperature from 18 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius. And you will have long, tall grasses which are found here. Okay, and annually they will receive a rainfall of 60 centimeters to 70 centimeters. Okay, did you understand the difference between northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere climate? Okay, now we will see about the plant life. How is the plant life in the grasslands? Okay, in the grasslands we are having most of the area is covered with grass, and trees are normally found only in areas that have water bodies. Okay, and the rest of the area will all have grasslands. Okay, now next we will see about the prairies. Okay, so prairies receive more rainfall, so tall grasses are grown here. Steppes receive less rainfall, so grasses here are shorter. Okay, so now we will find out in different weather how are the grasses grown. Now during summer season, the grasses will all be dried up, but inside the underground water will be there. So the roots will receive the water from the underground. Then during the spring season, because of water received from the roots, there will be sprouts and more of greenery, flowers you can see in the spring season. And then here in this spring season only, you will find more of fodder. Fodder means more food is there for the cows and different herds. Okay, so all the animals which are herbivores will receive lot of fodder during the spring season, and herdsmen will be very busy during this time because for their cattle also they will get more food. Then during autumn season, what happens? All the grass gets dried up and the grass dies. Okay, but inside the ground you will find water will be there. Okay, next in winter season, the roots buried inside will receive water. Okay, so again after this you will have the summer season. Okay, so this is the plant life. Next, here pampas, you can see that in the eastern area of the pampas will receive lot of rainfall because it is nearer to the coast, whereas on the western side of the pampas you will find that it is away from the coastal area, so it will not receive much rainfall. Okay, so here the land will be barren. Barren land means the land is dry and you cannot, there will be no use for anything. Okay, you cannot cultivate anything there, nor the grasses will be grown. Okay, then we will come to the wildlife of the grasslands. So you will find most of the animals there because the animals here are mostly herbivores. Okay, because they get more grass to eat. Because herbivores are more here, you will find lot of carnivores also because they are always behind the herbivores for their food. So most of the animals found in prairies are, turn the page there, page number 32. You can see a few animals there. Coyote, prairie dog, jackrabbit, badger, horned lark, meadowlark and various species of hawks and waterfowl are the common animals of the prairies. And the majestic golden eagles are seen in the prairies and Central Asian steppes. Okay. Then in the steppes, you can also find some other animals like Corsac fox, saiga, antelope and northern lynx. Then Bactrian camels are found in the eastern steppes. Then in the pampas, you will find guanaco, pampas deer, grey fox, skunks, viscaca, bush dog and ray. Okay, then in the downs are present in which continent? In Australia. Here you can find it is the home for kangaroos, wallabies and emus. Okay, so this is the wildlife of the grasslands. Next we will go to the human life. How are humans, cultivating things in the prairies? There are two types of things which are grown here. One is cultivation of crops and the second is the livestock. So cultivation of crops means growing the plants. Okay, so mostly they grow plants in prairies, that is the wheat. So wheat is the crop which is grown mostly here and it is the wheat basket of the world because it is grown for commercial use and most of it is exported to other countries. So prairie is present in America and America is the largest producer of wheat. Okay, so why it is the largest producer of wheat? Because they are using many modern technologies, okay, to plow the land, to sow the seeds, for harvesting, threshing, winnowing. For all these purposes, they are using modern technology. Now here on page 32, you can see a machine there. That is called a combine harvester. Now in this machine, they are harvesting the crops and also separating it. And then on page number 33, you can see a picture there which is called silo. Now these silos are nothing but after harvesting, they will store the grains in this silos, which are big containers which protects the grain from the rodents, that is from rats and other insects. Okay, so because of this prairies, they have become, America has become the largest producer of wheat. Next we will go to the ranches. Now ranches also are present here. Now what are ranches is, they are livestock rearing. That means cow, then goat, sheep, all are reared here and that meat and the milk products are also exported to other countries. Okay. Now next we will go to the pampas. Now pampas are grasslands. Here they are large farms which are called estancias, and the people who take care of these animals are called as gaucos. Okay, and here also in pampas, in steppes and downs, in all these three grasslands, they are using mechanized farming, same as the prairies. Okay, thank you, students. Complete the exercise A, B, C in textbook, page number 34, and complete the question and answers in classwork. Okay, and page number 29. Okay, there is one activity there where you have to write down where are the grasslands of the southern hemisphere. Write it as SH, and in the northern hemisphere you have to write it as NH. Okay, please do that in your textbook itself. Thank you.